Greetings, it's Heidi with Hydonian Living. Today's segment is going to be on how to back up your timeline so that you can increase your chances of getting places on time. Now, I'll be honest, the older I get, the more I find that it's hard to be on time. But generally, as a general rule, throughout the majority of my life, I've been known as an on-time or early person. In fact, it's been known to be said that if you're on time, you're actually late. Well, I know for some of us, it's a little bit harder to be on time than others. Sometimes it's just some bad habits. But the number one thing that I find for me personally is I just haven't planned enough time for how much life is really going to take. I feel like, most of the time we think everything's going to take less time than what it really does. And I'm not even sure where I learned this technique or if it was just something innate that, God just put in my brain. But I'm going to share it with you in hopes that it will help simplify your scheduling for yourself. Now, this is just a simple, last minute version. In other words, there's all kinds of other detailed planning that we'll train on later in Hydonian Living or share on. But this is that simple, in the heat of the moment, how do I make sure I am on time? Because it's so important, right? It's more respectful to others. And plus, you just feel better, right? When you know you've got more than enough time. And I love to operate that even when I'm running behind, I'm actually early. And so let me just show you this super simple thing. So let's say I have a haircut that I need to get to. And quite honestly, my haircut's usually the thing that I have the most trouble getting on time to. I don't know why, it just is. Okay, so let's take for example that I have a haircut at noon today. Okay, so this is what I do. I just keep a pile of scratch paper and do this. And usually I don't write this large, but obviously I want you to be able to see it. So haircut at noon. All right, so I know it takes me 20 minutes to drive there. Well, first of all, let's just back up and say anything that I plan, I add extra time. I pad extra time because the dog's gonna take longer to go to the bathroom than expected. Or in this case, my little lily bug, she pouts when I'm gonna leave. So I need to allow more time than I think for her to go to the bathroom before I leave. Again, real life examples here, y'all, just keeping it real. So I know anything that's gonna take me 5 minutes, I plan 10 minutes for. Anything I think is gonna take 10 minutes, I plan 15 minutes for. Anything I think is gonna take 30 minutes, I'll plan 45. So I always add that, the bigger the increment of time, the more padding I give it. If I think something is gonna take me an hour to do, I might plan an hour and a half or an hour, at least an hour and 15, because it's always gonna take longer than what you think. And even if it doesn't, life is gonna happen, right? Until you are 6 feet under, life is gonna keep happening. And so, you can plan and know that your plan is never gonna be perfect. And you got to get okay with that. That's another whole nother thing we could go into on another day. But getting at peace with knowing it's always going to go not as you planned it to go. So plan for it not to go as you planned for it to go. Oh my gosh, did you follow that? All right, so noon haircut. I know it's going to take me 20 minutes to drive there, so I'm going to plan 30. So that means I need to leave by 11:30. Leave. Okay, so I, because I'm self-employed, get the privilege of being able to work from home most of the time. And so I usually don't shower until right before I need to go somewhere. So in this case, I know I need to leave at 11:30. I know I need to plan about an hour to get ready. Could I get ready in 45 minutes if I needed to? Absolutely, but I plan an hour, right? So at 10:30, I need to shower. Okay, so if I'm gonna shower at 10:30, and I wanna get at least an hour of work done before I leave, that means I need to start working at 9:30, right? Okay, so I also like to stretch and walk every day. And so even though it only takes me 30 minutes to stretch, 30 minutes of walking and 15 minutes of stretching, I plan an hour because stuff's always happening. And so that means by 8:30, I need to do my walk and stretch, which I can't spell to save my life, so I'm probably spelling some of these incorrectly. I did get a 4.0 in my master's degree program, but I cannot spell. So just know you're gonna see lots of things on Hydonian Living. Yes, made up words, but often real words that have made up spelling. And I'm just okay with not being perfect. Okay, so 8:30 walk and stretch. That means that if I wanna do, I actually, for myself, now if you don't know these things, you've gotta spend a little bit of time figuring out how long things take you, right? And so I know for me to do all of my morning rituals, which I love to read every morning. I love to have prayer time. I love to scribe my goals. I love to visit my dream. I need to feed my cat, change the litter box, feed my dog, blah, 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 all my morning rituals. So I have calculated for myself, my morning rituals take about 2 hours. So I plan 2.5, right? So that means that I need to get up at 6 a.m. so that I can do all my AM rituals. So like I said, if you haven't figured this out for yourself, that's going to take a little bit more time for you to map out. Now, if I hadn't done this, I would think, oh gosh, I have a noon haircut. I can sleep in today, right? I don't have anywhere I have to be till noon. But then, you know, I'd look at the clock and pretty soon it'd be 11 o'clock. Oh my gosh, I should have showered. Oh my gosh, you know, I am going to be late to the haircut, blah, 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 because I didn't back it up. I'm trying not to go into the song, back it up. Okay, I won't. So this is just a quick thing that has worked great for me. It'll get easier over time. Will it guarantee you're on time? Absolutely not. But it'll sure help you get a lot closer a lot sooner. And with the padding, what I find is even when I, you know, am working from this timeline, of course, then even when I'm running 15 minutes late, I'm still on time because I have padded my life to expect the unexpected, because it's just guaranteed. So I hope this is a simple and solid principle that will help you find more freedom in your daily living to help you become more of who you are called to be.